I recently spent 3 months working in Iraq, both in the north in Erbil and in Baghdad and around the areas affected, some of the areas affected by the current conflict. It's always a little bit disconcerting when you head into an area that you know has some risk, but I've worked long enough in this world to understand that we do everything we can to minimize the risk to ourselves, to our colleagues, in order that we can do the work that we know we have to do. We have to have a certain degree of safety and security in order to provide the assistance that's required. So there's always a sense of trepidation, a sense of uncertainty, but generally once you get there, once you get stuck into the work, once you see the needs, once you meet the people who need your assistance, it becomes not just a job, but it becomes something that you know you have to do, and you're there for as long as it takes to get the job done. I think there's a natural curiosity that comes with journalism to understand what affects people and how their lives are impacted by events that are beyond their control. And certainly I think in terms of understanding how we can best respond to those needs, always asking questions, always not being satisfied with how things have been done up to this point, to really say to yourself, how can we do this better? How can we reach people more efficiently? How can we reach more people? How can we reach people who up to now have been impossible to get to because of security reasons? These kind of, if you like, scenarios where you ask yourself questions, I think I brought that certainly from my background in journalism. And I hope I brought a certain ability to communicate what we as the World Food Programme are trying to do in the various scenarios where we are providing assistance, because we're 100% voluntarily funded. We need to get the message out to the world that these are real needs that are being met by not just ourselves, but by other organizations who are professional, who can get the job done. And if we can get that message across, then our donors have the confidence to invest in us, to provide us with what we need, so that as a global community we can say we've done everything we can to make sure the innocent victims of whether it's a natural disaster or a conflict receive the life-saving assistance that they need. For me, I think every time I go to a distribution site and see what the World Food Programme is doing, and I meet with the people to whom we're delivering assistance, that is my personal opportunity to share my humanity with those people. You can feel very helpless. You can feel that maybe even what you're providing is not enough, because these are people who've lost everything. They've had forced to run from their homes, and they're not even able to start life again. They're living day to day, really dependent for the time being in the most acute phase of the emergency on the kind of assistance that we provide. But I think when I think about sharing humanity, it's not just about me, it's not just about humanitarians who have a job in the humanitarian world. It's about all of us who every day in our lives, amongst our families, our friends, our colleagues, have an opportunity to be more human, to do little humanitarian acts of kindness for each other. And I think that's where we begin to make the world a better place, and that's the kind of inspiration that drives the humanitarian world and an organization like the World Food Programme. There have been a few. There are a few places I don't tell my mother that I'm going to, because I know she won't appreciate the fact that I'm there. I've done a lot of work in Africa, and Somalia is one place in particular where in the past there's been a great sense of uncertainty every time you go there. But generally, I feel that any sense of fear is more in anticipation than the reality of once you're there, once you're on the ground, and once you're doing the job. Once you're there, you know what you have to do. You're very focused on making sure the job gets done, and it loses some of the edge, if you like, the edge of fear, the edge of uncertainty. You're surrounded by people doing the same thing. You're never alone, and I have to say, up to now, I've been very fortunate. I know things can go wrong, and have gone wrong, and for people that I know. But for me personally, I've been able to continue my work without any, if you like, immediate sense that something's going horribly wrong. And that's my hope for myself and for all my colleagues in the humanitarian world, that we're able to do our jobs with that in mind. We know now that if a child does not receive the right nutrition in the first 1,000 days of life, from the womb to 2 years of age, it's a missed opportunity and can lead to completely irreversible problems in development, both physically and mentally, later on in life. If we know this, we therefore have a responsibility. We cannot allow children to go wanting during this period, which includes making sure their pregnant mothers are properly looked after, have the right kind of diet, to make sure that we allow everybody to develop with an equal opportunity to realize their potential as human beings. There's so many. I think I go back as far as over 10 years ago to Niger in 2005, where there was a terrible crisis of malnutrition amongst young children. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of the specialized products that we now have that allow us to provide young children with the vital nutrients and vitamins to help them recover quickly when they're at that sort of critical stage where they could fall into very, very acute stages of malnutrition where their lives are at risk. We now have a whole number of specially developed nutritious foods designed for children, which mean that we can essentially save lives in a far more efficient and targeted manner. And it's always amazing when you see the difference in really a very short period of time that providing specialized foods and specialized care can have on the life of a young child. I mean, in a very real sense, almost bringing them back from death's door to being healthy, and their mother being confident and happy again that this child has a future. The World Food Programme, we've not only used products that have been developed by others, but we're also working in a number of countries around the world to develop our own products that are based on the local dietary preferences. So for example, in Afghanistan, where I've been working for most of the last 2 years, we've been developing a specialized nutritious food where the base is chickpeas. At the World Food Programme, we've been working not only with products developed by partners from outside, but also looking to design our own specialized nutritious foods that are based on the local preferences in the countries where we work, because that means that they're more likely to be consumed easily by children. So in Afghanistan, for example, we've been working on a new product based on almonds, because almonds are a popular local food commodity. In Pakistan, we worked on a different product called wawamam or achamam, which is based on chickpeas. And there are various other examples of that in countries around the world. So it's exciting. It gives us a more powerful way to make a difference in the lives of those who are affected by malnutrition.